the Money is made possible by financial support from Old National Bank and Chicagoans like you. Thank you. Hello, welcome to In the Money. I'm your host, Kimberly Loftis, a CPA and Chicago Business Journal woman of influence, who is also a financial executive that is passionate about personal finance. Tonight, we will be discussing getting ready for retirement. Retirement is a milestone that we all look forward to no matter our age. But how do we ensure that those golden years are truly golden? From financial planning to health considerations, our guest tonight will help you understand what you need to do to get retirement ready and what methods can be used to save and grow your nest egg. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to reflect on why preparing for retirement is more crucial than ever. With increasing life expectancy and changing financial conditions, it's essential to be proactive and informed. Our goal today is to empower you, our audience, with the knowledge and tools needed to begin or improve your own retirement journey confidently. So while we take a quick break, grab your notepads, get comfortable, and join us on this financial journey as we explore the key steps to getting retirement ready. Welcome back to In the Money, where we're discussing retirement readiness. Now, as we all know, getting retirement ready is key to ensuring those golden years are truly golden. And what better way to navigate this financial road than the guidance of an expert? Joining us today is seasoned financial expert, Angela Giles. Welcome to the show, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is a retirement roadmap?
Well, that is the planning that you need to undertake to plan for your future, and in particular, retirement. And we don't want to run out of money. So it's important to sort of have that roadmap sort of planned out before you.
So what are the first steps I should take if I'm in my 20s about a retirement? Should I even be thinking about it in my 20s?
It's never too early to think about retirement. I mean, I think, you know, someone in their 20s, it's great. You may not be at the peak of your earnings per se, but it's never too early to start. In fact, I would say that's the best time to start planning for retirement.
And if I'm in my 50s or 60s, is it too late if I'm still working?
No, it is not. I have a perfect example I can share with you later, but absolutely not. I mean, you really need to really consider, you know, your future. And I think there's, you know, the best time to start is early, but it's never too late to start. If you're thinking about it, start.
Now, what are the first steps I should take in building a roadmap?
Well, first, there's several considerations. You have to think about, number one, where you are in your life span. Like, when do you think you might want to retire? Some folks like to retire early. Some people like to retire right at 65. You also want to consider your lifestyle. Like, what does that look like for you in your golden years? I know most people by that time will maybe have a family at some point. And when you get to retirement, you know, and sometimes that may be hard to predict, but just what does that look like for you? What do you want to be doing in retirement? You also want to consider healthcare and medical costs, a part of your retirement as well, because one of the biggest misconceptions is that people think that Medicare is something that, well, that's going to cover all of my medical costs, so I don't have to think about any additional savings for that, but that's going to be huge too. So those are some things to consider. And
you just never know what your health is going to look like.
That is correct.
At that age.
Yes.
Now, if I am ready to retire, how do I know I'm ready? Like, how do I know that I can be comfortable based off of whatever my plan is to be watching every dollar or to be free and travel? Like, what are the things I'm looking at to say I'm able to retire?
Well, when you first start planning for retirement, it's helpful to, like I said, sort of take those steps ahead in terms of just seeing what you want your lifestyle to be like upon retiring. But you also want to, you know, see where you are. You want to do some checks just to make sure periodically that you're saving enough to get to your goal. Some adjustments may need to be made. Maybe you may have some new health issues or something that comes on the horizon. And, you know, you can also talk to a financial advisor to kind of make sure you're on track. But there's different ways to kind of keep you on track to make sure that you're going to be comfortable enough. You'll have sort of, I guess, in your plan where you're developing how much you think you might need on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis even. And do you have enough to kind of like cover that with your life expectancy? I know that we don't know what our expiration dates are, but, you know, financial advisors can help you with that. People are living longer.
My women in my family last a long time,
yes.
so I know I'll be around, knock on wood, for a while. Now, the question I have is it almost retirement road mapping, like putting a budget together for retirement, where I would say, hey, I have a mortgage today, and I may or may not, depending on how long that mortgage is, I might have a mortgage in retirement. Am I putting those dollars together to like pen and paper and saying, here's my budget when I retire, these expenses I still want to have, then I'm layering on top if I want to travel, maybe I want to do something for the grandkids. Is that how I'm putting together that financial roadmap? If I don't, I'm asking the people who don't have a financial advisor.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. That's what you do. You're putting that budget together. You know what your budget is today, and then what is that going to look like in the future? You may have you may still have a mortgage or a different mortgage by the time you retire. You may want to, put something away for your grandchildren. You may want to, take annual trips or trips every month. I mean, just depending on what you want to do. All those things factor in terms of like how you put that and how do you see your budget, in retirement. So
once I've looked at my healthcare considerations, what other challenges may I have about getting to that, retirement? What else could kind of pop up?
And that's going to be really tricky, right? Because we may be very healthy right now, but like we can't really see what's ahead of us in the next 20 years or so. But it's good to have that, sort of baked into your numbers. To make sure that you can cover certain costs. Like there's long-term care. What if you all of a sudden have onset, dementia, or you may have, I don't want to put a lot of things out there, but there's a variety of things that you could, have to face while you're retired, and you just really want to make sure you factor that in. And it's hard to determine, but one thing that you can do is potential sort of premiums that you may have to pay outside of Medicare. There's different insurance coverages that you can get that's called Medigap or Medicare Gap. Those insurances, they're not free. So you have to think about that. So you can think about just kind of covering those costs in that way, perhaps getting a long-term care insurance policy. I mean, those are the things that you want to factor in.
So I have my paper out, I'm planning my budget. What else should I be doing for my roadmap for retirement?
There's another thing, just to make sure that you're on track. Once you have that in place, you want to know how much you're going to contribute, on a monthly basis, or however often that you'll do it, probably biweekly if you have a 401k, sort of sponsored employer 401k, or if you want to use other investment vehicles such as individual retirement accounts. But you want to really try to factor in like how much your contribution should be, so that periodically this is part of your budget, you're paying yourself there first. Also making that automatic so that you're automatically saving on over the time horizon so that you're able to meet your goals.
So what happens if I say I need $500,000 to live my dream retirement and I don't have $500,000? So will this roadmap help me say, hey, I need to put in X dollars to get to 500,000 because it's going to grow X percent? Make that assumption. Is that how that works?
Yes, in a nutshell. So you would want to, number one, like I mentioned before, if your goal is 500,000, then depending on what your time horizon to get to retirement, that will tell you what you need to contribute on a periodic basis to be able to do that. Whether it's biweekly, weekly, however you get you get paid or how you're going to make your contributions, that will determine that. But also you'll be making some selections, some investment selections and things of that nature to try to help you sort of figure out how you can grow your funds to get to that point. So,
and you had mentioned earlier that you had an example of someone who started funding their retirement later in age.
Yes, I do. So, and I will say it was my mom.
Mm.
So my mom has been a person who sort of started and stopped in terms of like retirement planning, you know, in her earlier years. And I want to say when she was either in her late 40s, early 50s, she really got serious about it. And I told her, I said, just make it automatic. It's really easy. Try to save between 10 to 15% of your income. And then also just increase it, you know, year over year. She did follow it. So at first she wasn't able to put in the full 10%. And so we had to start off small.
Right.
And she did. And I said, the way that you do this to increase it to these levels is to, if you get a, you know, and she had I should back up and say she was contributing to a employer-sponsored 401k. So that made it easy for her to be able to just have the contributions taken from her check on a pre-tax basis. But I also told her to, you know, basically, when you get a raise, for instance, I don't care if it's 2%, 3%, 5% raise or more, put half of it into your 401k, increase that each year. And she did that. She did that strategy and it really worked for her. There have been times where she wanted to pull out of the market because it, you know, sort of taken a nosedive, you know, especially in 2008 and recently during COVID years. She was really afraid and wanted to take out. I'm like, no, this is where you double down. So when everything is down, you know, when you have the investment, the prices of sort of like the cost of like whatever mutual fund she belongs in or she contributes to, when those prices are down, that you need to, you know, invest more. And she did that. And that's helped her to, you know, sort of, now she's well into her 70s. And I will say she's still working just because of choice, but she can actually comfortably retire today.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
So the key takeaway I would say would be to start now, no matter what your age is, to start contributing to that retirement.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming today, Angela.
Thank you.
When we return, we will have Ben Juergens, our Money Matters expert.
Planning your retirement with Old National Bank. Welcome to Planning Your Retirement with Old National. Today we're diving into the essentials of retirement readiness because your golden years should just be that, golden. Retirement may seem far off, but it's never too early to start planning. Let's break it down step by step. First, you need to assess your retirement goals. What kind of lifestyle do you envision? Traveling the world? Pursuing hobbies? Spending time with family? Knowing what you want in retirement helps you set realistic financial targets. Next, it's time to save. And the earlier you start, the better. Remember, the time value of money is so important and can work greatly in your favor. Albert Einstein once stated that compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Compound interest is like a magic trick for your money. Here's how it works. You save money, and over time you earn interest not just on your original savings, but also on the interest you've already earned. Your money starts to snowball, growing faster and faster. Unlike simple interest, where you only earn on the initial amount, compound interest helps you grow your savings faster and faster. When you invest for your retirement in a 401k or an IRA, this allows your money to compound over time. Contributing regularly to your retirement account can help grow that nest egg over time. Many times this can be taken directly out of your payroll. Over time, experts suggest aiming for a long-term goal of 15% of your gross income going towards retirement. If you're younger, it's recommended to start investing more earlier, while your expenses are probably lower compared to the average adult. But saving isn't enough. You need to invest wisely. Balancing risk and reward can help protect your savings while still aiming for growth. And don't forget about Social Security. Understanding your benefits can be a valuable part of your retirement income strategy. Lastly, stay flexible. Life happens, and your retirement plan may need to adjust along the way. Remember, retirement planning is a journey, not a destination. With the right mindset and guidance from a financial advisor, you may be able to enjoy the retirement that you've always dreamed of.
Hi, I'm Bianca Cotton. Join me Mondays at 7 p.m. for Behind the Confident Smile as I sit in conversation with incredible, dynamic, and complex Chicagoans who peel back the layers, living lessons, the joy, and the pain behind their confident smiles. You can watch on CanTV 19, cantv.org, and CanTV Plus app.
Welcome back to In the Money. If you're just joining us, we've been exploring retirement readiness and how to craft a personalized retirement roadmap. Now we're shifting gears to a topic that's on the minds of many: how to invest for retirement. It's a crucial piece of the retirement planning puzzle. And today, we're going to unpack it with the help of our next guest, dividend queen, Charlene Rhinehart. Welcome to the show, Charlene.
Thanks for having me.
Many of our viewers are at different strategies in their journey toward retirement. For someone just starting out, where should they start?
Someone just starting out, start where you are. So if you don't have a savings account, start with the savings account. Why? Because you will need the money later to start investing. Savings is not enough. It's a starting point, but it's not the end point. You need to develop habits where you can save every month, and then you turn those savings into investments so that you can be able to create a long-term portfolio.
But right now, the savings rates are really, really high because interest rates are high. Yeah. So I can't leave it there and still not make any money?
You need to diversify your money. So like I said, you can start with savings. Take advantage of that 3%, 4% while it's there, but you don't have to put all your money there. You want to give your money a chance to work because those savings rates may not be there all the time. Interest rates fluctuate, right? I remember when I was in college, interest rates were 5%, but then 2 years later, I saw 1% or less interest rates from traditional banking institutions. So you want to make sure you're investing your money so that it can continuously grow over time and take advantage of compounding.
Now, what is compounding?
So Albert Einstein actually said compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it, earn it, and those who don't, pay it. So if you understand compounding, which is the ability for your money to use its money to generate more money, interest earning more interest, dividends earning more dividends, that allows you to build a portfolio that compounds and grows over time. That's how you supersize your returns.
So if I gave an example, if I put $100 in the bank and I got $10 in interest, the next time I get an interest payment, it's on $110 instead of $100. Is that a compounding?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. And so I have my savings account. Do I put it all in the market, or do I save for, emergency funds or whatever using savings, or do I put it all in the market?
So you want to have that emergency fund, because if you don't have an emergency fund and something unexpected happens, which it always does, you will tap into that savings. So you need an emergency fund as your backup plan.
Okay.
After you have that emergency fund, start your savings. And then you want to take advantage of those workplace plan. What is your employer offering you? Are they offering you a 401k, 403b, or any other retirement plan? Are they offering you a health savings account? Now, that's one of those overlooked treasures that can allow you to invest for now and retirement.
So a health savings account, can you explain what you mean for retirement investing?
Okay, so typically with your workplace benefits, your employer may throw in a FSA, a flexible spending account, or a health savings account. Unlike an FSA, a health savings account allows you to roll over the money that you contribute every year. But a health savings account is only accessible to you if you have a high deductible health plan.
Okay.
So typically when you're young, you're healthy, you don't go to the doctor a lot, you may opt in for a high deductible health plan. Now that you have that HDHP, you can pair that with an HSA, and you can contribute money up to the limit every year and use that money for qualified medical expenses. Now, if you don't need to use all that money that year, that's awesome. You can roll over that money to the next year, to the next year, and the next. And during retirement, you can have this bucket of money from your HSA that has been invested, and you can use that to pay for qualified medical expenses or other expenses after a certain age.
Okay, and what about 401k plans? Don't they sometimes have matches? Should that be something I should be considering?
That's another benefit. So find out if your employer has a match, because that's free money in your retirement account. I like to tell people you don't have to do all of this alone. It's a lot to manage your entire retirement portfolio. Your employer can be your wealth partner. So find out if they are matching any of the dollars you are contributing to your 401k. And people like to say contribute at least the match, at least. Now, if you have maxed out all of your other accounts, your emergency fund is good, your finances are in order, you may want to consider taking it up a notch and maxing out your 401k if it makes sense for you.
Now, if I do have it maxed out, or if I don't have a 401k available to me, what are some of my other options?
Yes, so don't be worried if you don't have a 401k available to you. People don't always have that option. But the good thing is you can have an individual retirement account, IRA. You can gain access to an IRA if you have earned income. So let's say you have a side gig, you don't have an employer, a full-time employer, you can use money from your side gig to deposit into your IRA. Now, there are two flavors of IRAs. We have a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. With a Roth IRA, if you think you're going to be in a higher tax bracket later, you want to dump as much money into that Roth IRA now, because you are going to put aside after-tax dollars in exchange for tax-free income during retirement. Now, how many people want tax-free income during retirement?
Sure.
A traditional IRA works the opposite way. You may be able to deduct your contributions on your tax return depending on your income, but then later on, you'll be required to withdraw that and pay taxes on that money.
Now, we've talked about different ways of saving or investing vehicles, but how do I get income? I mean, where's that income coming from in retirement from these investments?
The beauty of having all these accounts, these houses for your money, is that you can invest in dividend-paying stocks.
Okay.
Dividends are a way to get money, an extra stream of income from the companies that you like, or from some of the funds, exchange traded funds on your list. So that's how you build a dividend portfolio. In any of these accounts that you have, even your regular brokerage account, you can put money in, invest in dividend paying assets, earn that income every month or every quarter, and you can reinvest the dollars. And that's where compounding takes place with your dividend portfolio.
So it's dividends for corporations or companies that I invest in, kind of like almost like getting an interest payment, but they just call it something different?
Yes, because you are getting a share of a company's profits. Now, not all companies pay dividends, but those sustainable companies that have been around for some time, typically your blue chip companies that are the cream of the crop, they have these extra dollars, and they can either reinvest the money into the growth of the business, or they can give some of this money to shareholders in the form of dividends. So that's why you are able to get these dividends. Another good thing about dividends is a company may give you maybe, let's say, $2 per share. If you own 1,000 shares, you'll get $2,000 per year. But the company may grow that income every year. So 1 year is $2. The next year might be $3. The next year, $4. You don't even have to put in extra money. Some companies will continue to grow their dividend income, which allows you to grow your portfolio over time.
Now, what about stock appreciation, like the sale or capital gains or losses? I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole, but does that play a part into your retirement money?
Yes. So with dividends, you get the best of both worlds. You get the stock appreciation and the dividend income. So stock appreciation is what everybody aspires to see in their portfolio. It's when your stock goes from $5 to $10 or $5 to $100. If you cash out those stocks, you earn a profit, but you don't have to cash out. Now, if you don't cash out, you get the dividends. So you have to own those shares in order to get access to that recurring stream of income.
Now, do I need to buy a lot of shares to make it worthwhile to get that dividend income?
Yes. So let's say the company is paying $2 per share that you own. If you own 10 shares, you're only getting $20. But if you own 1,000 shares, you're getting $2,000. So now you are in control of the income that you earn. There is no limit to the amount of income that you can earn every month or every quarter. It depends on how much money you are willing to invest. So that's one thing I love about dividends as well. It's unlimited income.
So how do I discover a company is even paying dividends? Like, how do I know which ones to invest in?
So companies let you know.
Okay.
They declare dividends. A board of director will declare a dividend before it's paid out. So let's say Apple. Apple says, we are going to declare a dividend that's payable in 3 months to investors who have the stock by the X dividend date. So as long as you have shares of the stock by a certain date, you will be able to gain access to the next round of dividend payments that they are giving out.
And I'll be able to buy these shares through whatever, like the IRA or my 401k. These will be available?
So you can buy individual stocks typically through a 401k, those employer-sponsored plans. But the benefit of having your own plan, your own individual retirement account, is that you have the flexibility to buy individual stocks and other assets of your choice.
So what would be that one tip you would give someone who's interested in building a dividend portfolio?
Yeah, so there are many ways to do it. First, have an account available to do your research. There are so many different types of dividend paying assets out there. If you are going to do the research and put in the work, you can look at individual stocks. I always say, look at what you shop for. What companies are you already going to? What clothes do you have on? Are they made by your favorite company? So do your research there. It's easier to start with what you already know. After you do your research, put these companies on your watch list. You want to stalk them in a way. You want to see if they deserve your money. Listen to the earnings calls. If you are willing to do that, then you can probably invest in individual stocks. If not, you can look into exchange traded funds. Now that's a basket of stocks that can allow you to receive dividends.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming today. These are great tips for the audience.
Thanks for having me, Kimberly.
When we come back from the break, we'll close it out on our retirement planning.
Hello, I'm Rich Robbins, inviting you to join me for the series Soft and Tender. Soft and Tender celebrates the resilience and emotional depth of Black fatherhood, offering a powerful narrative on family bonds and ongoing challenges faced by Black communities.
As a father and as a parent in general, you have to know that you're not going to always understand, and that's okay.
Tune in on CAN TV, cable channel 19, or stream at cantv.org or the CAN TV Plus app. Experience the power of community television.
As we wrap up today's journey through the process of planning and investing for retirement, we have learned the importance of a personalized retirement roadmap to help with building strategies for successful retirement investing, no matter where you are in your retirement planning journey. But the conversation doesn't end here. Retirement planning is an ongoing process, one that changes as we do. It's about more than just numbers in a bank account. It's about designing a future that aligns with your deepest aspirations, values, and dreams. Whether you're just starting to save, actively investing, or fine-tuning your strategy as you near retirement, the key is to stay informed, stay focused, and stay engaged with your financial well-being. Remember, it's never too late or too early to begin. If you take away one thing from today's show, let it be this. The steps you take today, no matter how small, can have a big impact on your retirement tomorrow. So I encourage you to reach out to financial mentors, utilize the resources available to you, and take active steps towards securing the retirement you envision and deserve. Join us next week as we continue our journey to financial freedom for 2024. If you have any questions about today's topic or past topics, please send me an email to Kimberly@inthemoneyemail.com or follow me on Instagram at Diva of Cashflow. Remember, we are on this journey together.